Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This one's going to be a fun one. I have been waiting quite some time to do this video. I just had to wait for the new optic screws to come in, and we finally got them. So I had put in, I talked about this in a previous video that I did the request through SDS Arms to get the new plate screws that they put out on social media that they were replacing it. Side note, I know I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Huge props to SDS Arms and Mac for acknowledging the issues that they were having with the screws, and not only acknowledging it, but fixing it. Getting new optic screws, sending it out to the customers free of charge. To me, that's what customer service is all about. So that's something I really appreciate and I love in companies that I choose to spend my money on. So I had put the request in May 13th. And on the email that you get, it says it can take up to 30 days to get in. Now, I know that they were having some delays with the screws, which put everything back. I ended up getting mine June 24th. So a little bit longer than 30 days, but from when it was actually shipped to getting it to my door was 5 days. So overall, no complaints from me whatsoever. I'm just stoked to have them. As you guys saw, I was still running it with the old screws. So I think this is going to be a huge upgrade. So when you get it, I'm going to show you the back side of this. Just comes in a little envelope, nothing too fancy. Then you get the screws themselves. Mine did have a rip here on the side, so one of the screws were actually just loose inside of the packaging, but I mean, again, guys, not going to complain about the little things like that. So you get that. You get a cool little Mac sticker, which I'll definitely be throwing that on something here soon. A little reminder that this is for the factory RMR plate only. And then you get your instructions. So once these are on, they're obviously recommending you use blue Loctite and then torque it down to 12 to 15 inch-pounds, which is exactly what we're going to be doing. And just before we start, just show you guys, gun is completely empty, no magazine, no ammo anywhere near the table. And what I will do, since I've put out a video before on the install of the plate and the optic and all of that, I'm not going to bore you with redoing that whole process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Gideon Omega off. I'll get the plate off and I will show you the old screw versus the new screw. And then we'll just go from there. So let me get this off and then I'll show you what that looks like. All right, now that we got the optic off, everything looks good. And I forgot to mention too that they, as in SDS Arms and Mac, had put out a video, and it's what we covered in the first one, but they are recommending that you use alcohol, clean off all the surface, and just get a new fresh start. So that's what I did. Again, didn't want to bore you with me cleaning everything with alcohol, just to show you. I mean, that's what I was able to get off of that. And that was after cleaning it with alcohol the first time as well. So these, as you guys will recognize, are the old screws. I'll try to get that to where you can see it. I mean, those things just strip so darn easy. And the threads, I'm going to look at that real quick closer. I can see why guys were talking about the threads just breaking. Just not high quality screws whatsoever. Now these are the new ones. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that or not, but the head of the screw is much better. It looks to me like it's going to have a thicker head to it. And then the threads themselves look a lot more high quality. So now that is nice and clean, all dried off, all the old blue Loctite is out, everything's clean. We are going to throw those on, and then I'll show you what everything looks like when it's all put together. All right, guys, everything is installed, and let me tell you, this thing is solid as a rock. I am super happy with that. That honestly feels better than it did before. Torquing everything down the same exact way. This thing feels just amazing. And I know it said 12 to 15 inch-pounds. I did do 15 inch-pounds for the plate itself. And one thing I didn't mention is I did clean off the threads of the screws beforehand. And then, of course, using blue Loctite, as I showed in the video before, you know, personal preference on how much you want to use. I used a healthy amount of blue Loctite because I want this thing to go absolutely nowhere and be rock solid. And then clean the threads of the Gideon screws, and then of course blue Loctite, and then the recommended 10 inch-pounds from Gideon for the Omega. So this thing is rock solid, looks outstanding as usual. And guys, I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm super impressed with Mac and SDS Arms for just coming through for their customers and providing just outstanding customer service. I will get some footage of more rounds through this, and hopefully these screws hold up like I think they will. I mentioned before, the old screws, I got about 300 rounds through it before the screws started to come loose. Ended up putting over 300 more rounds through it, and everything held up, but I don't know how much longer it would have went before the optic just came off. So we will keep a new round count for these screws just to see how they're holding up. And if they do come loose, hope they don't. I don't think they will, but I will keep you guys up to date on how they perform. And as usual, guys, if you have any questions on the Mac, the Gideon, the screws, whatever, just drop a comment down below and we'll get right back to you. And stay tuned for the sweet videos that we have coming up on this bad boy. I think you're going to really like them a lot. And if you don't mind, guys, please drop a like, share, and subscribe. Helps us out a ton. And we will see you guys on the next one. Thank you.